Plato's Closet in West Ashley and North Charleston are springing up cash. Just sell us your gently used warm weather styles, like tees, shorts, sandals, and more. We're paying cash on the spot for gently used spring styles for guys and girls. Support sustainable fashion. This spring, do your thing and recycle the spring-inspired clothes, shoes, and accessories that are just hanging in your closet for cash on the spot. Let your spring clothes bloom into cash at Plato's Closet. Plato's Closet, located in West Ashley on Sam Rittenberg Boulevard and North Charleston on Rivers Avenue.
Hey guys, time to get in on the action for the biggest moments in basketball with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projections, place your entry, and win up to 100 times your money. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit of up to $100. Just download the Prize Picks app and use the code GET100. That's code GET100 on Prize Picks for a first deposit match of up to $100. Prize Picks. Pick more. Pick less. It's that easy.
Program are pre-recorded.
Talk of the Town on Super Talk 1270.
I'm Steve Bach along with Lori Hintz from Beck News. You can go to beck.news, BEK.NEWS, to follow all the latest from Summit Carbon Solutions' proposed CO2 pipeline. And Lori, welcome back. A lot took place last week, starting with the Public Service Commission.
Holy cow, not kidding. Thanks for having me back, Steve. Yeah, it was a very busy week last week with what went on Wednesday, the 7th of February. And I tell you what, it was anticlimactic in that there were very few people in the room, and I'm not really certain why that was. It was cold and it was a bit spitting rain, and it was not the nicest hospitable weather outside, so that may have something to do with it. And the other possibility is that we, as people who had been to the preliminary hearing where that they did their work session day, they had pretty much projected exactly what they were going to be saying at this meeting anyway, so that may have had something to do with it.
So their work session more or less was just a rehearsal for what was going to come out in the meeting.
Yes, I would say that is true. And I can read for you the release that the North Dakota Public Service Commission released about what they did with this particular ruling. It came out and it says, North Dakota Public Service Commission overrules local zoning ordinances on pipeline issues. It came out the day after, so it came out on Thursday. And it says, yesterday, the North Dakota Public Service Commission, or PSC, made a pivotal decision regarding pipeline zoning issues, ruling that state regulations take precedence over local ordinances. In a unanimous 3-0 vote, the PSC's determination signifies a significant shift in authority, favoring state rules over community-based zoning measures. While Dakota Resource Council strongly disagrees with this decision, and this is a press release from the DRC, I should say, not the Public Service Commission, but while the DRC strongly disagrees with this decision, the organization aligns with Commissioner Christman's call for all North Dakotans to familiarize themselves with state law. Despite assertions made during the proceedings regarding legislative changes in 2019, it's crucial to note that no substantive alterations occurred during 2019. SB 2038, referenced in the proceedings, was clarified as a technical correction bill aimed at facilitating legislative changes from 2017. Contrary to claims, the legislative history underscores assurances that the law would not diminish local control. But the Petroleum Council lobbyists even emphasized that compliance directives should originate from the PSC without eroding local authority. This decision also disregards the distinction between a certificate of corridor compatibility and a route permit, a point emphasized in ND Century Code 49-22.1 through 13. Chairman Porter's comments in 2017 further clarified the legislature's intent regarding this distinction. It goes on to say further in this DRC thing, this release, it says, DRC urges North Dakotans to remain vigilant and informed about state laws and decisions impacting their communities. Upholding the principles of local governance and citizen participation is essential in preserving the integrity and autonomy of North Dakota's towns and cities. So that was very, very telling and very interesting. And also, it should be noted that the Public Service Commission also put out a public statement, and their order dated February 7th has a preliminary statement on which they talk about the commission issuing a notice of hearing, and they went through the history of it. They go through the discussion of it. They say that Emmons County disputed SCS's interpretation of Century Code. Burley County argued that the code specifies the permit to be construed, the permit to construct supersedes and preempts local land use or zoning regulations, but that a permit to construct is not in front of the commission. And the issue before the commission, it says, is not whether it may preempt local land use or zoning regulations, but whether preemption is automatic. And that is the basis for the whole thing. It should also be noted that the Public Service Commission on this particular case, which is, if you look at it, it is at PU-22-391, has now reached 441 dockets. It was noted in the meeting by Chairman Christman of the PSC that is more dockets than had the PSC had for DAPL, the Dakota Access Pipeline. Shocking. And it's only getting bigger.
Not really, but okay, there's a lot to unpack there, Lori. And when we come back from the break, we're going to do just that. And I'm going to have some heartburn on this local control because the legislature likes to talk about local control a lot. And then we've got the governor office that killed a bunch of private property bills. Okay. Again, a lot to unpack. We're talking with Lori Hens, Beck News. You can go to beck.news for all things with Summit Carbon Solutions' proposed CO2 pipeline. I'm Steve Bach, and this is Talk of the Town on Super Talk 1270.
Super Talk.
Hey guys, time to get in on the action for the biggest moments in basketball with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. Just select 2 or more players. Pick more or less on their projections, place your entry, and win up to 100 times your money. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit of up to $100. Just download the Prize Picks app and use the code GET100. That's code GET100 on Prize Picks for a first deposit match of up to $100. Prize Picks. Pick more. Pick less. It's that easy.
Talk of the Town on Super Talk 1270.
Super Talk 1270. I'm Steve Bach, along with Lori Hens from Beck News. You can go to beck.news, BEK.NEWS, to follow all things with the latest on Summit Carbon Solutions' proposed CO2 pipeline and the graft that is carbon sequestration in North Dakota and South Dakota and Iowa and Nebraska. And, okay, you just told us about a whole lot of stuff. There's a lot to unpack.
All the numbers for everything, Steve, are going up. All the numbers. The number of the plants that are capturing CO2 emissions, and the ethanol plants across 5 Midwestern states, that's going up.
Well, we knew that was going to happen, though, because we kind of figured that was going to happen when some of these other projects shut down because of pushback with private property rights and private property landowners. So, again, a lot to unpack. And I want to start on the local control thing because that's the thing that really irks me because we have a legislature that likes to hang their hat on local control, local control, local control until it's not convenient for there to be local control. And then it's like, well, we'll take care of it. So when they want to get their pet projects through, I don't see any difference right now because we've got the Public Service Commission. And yes, Randy Christman's term is up, and I'm kind of curious to see if anybody's going to jump in the ring against him because of this issue. But we've got a Public Service Commission who's now spitting in the face of local control. Now, where I agree with the local control side of things is common carrier status, public projects that make sense for the public, utility lines, sidings, easements for things like that, natural gas lines that are serving a large group, things for common good. You have to prove to me that carbon sequestration is a common good project. Where's the benefit? Because all I see is people's electricity bills going up, people's energy costs on the increase, and a lot of companies and people lining their pockets with tax dollars, my tax dollars. Again, bringing this back to local control, I've got a big problem with spitting in the face of private property ownership and losing local control on a local level when it comes to projects that, well, you know, maybe this is pushed by the governor's office, which we could even get into how that looks with the governor's current national platform and him showing up in Nevada with his wife after last Thursday's caucus. I'll leave all that alone. We're going to leave that out of it because, good God, if he was to get a cabinet position in energy, we're all dead. We're doomed at that point because now it's just, hey, just turn over your paychecks to okay, I'm done. I'm going to slow down.
Lori, there.
Local control. Again, where's the local control? Where's the benefit for the local landowners and the local political subdivisions that the legislature likes to say, here, local control. You guys be in charge of it. Local control. I'm not seeing it right now.
Well, fair question. It is. North Dakota's Public Service Commission decided that their authority automatically supersedes local ordinances in pipeline siting, and they are citing their cover, if you will, is North Dakota Century Code that was, created by lawmakers in our state and was changed as little as 5 years ago. They said it used to be must supersede, and now it says, it said may supersede originally, and now it says must. And that one little word, and words mean things, very
matter.
important to be real specific with your wording in your legislation, guys. The issue has come up that the siting application for this carbon dioxide pipeline means that counties and townships along the route have passed ordinances in response to landowners' requests for safety concerns. And so they have passed ordinances doing that, and now this will be superseded and preempted by state law.
Now, one of the things I keep hearing from the Public Service Commission is they keep trying to break it down a little bit. No. Follow the law. Follow the law. That's what they keep saying. Well, you had the governor's office that was pushing an agenda to not strengthen the law when it comes to private property rights because, and I'll just throw this out there, because of Summit Carbon Solutions' proposed CO2 pipeline, which goes back to 2017, 2016 when those discussions were taking place. But I'll leave that out of this. And now they keep dividing it because I keep hearing this resonance about, but there's two parts to this. The Public Service Commission wants to break this into two parts. There's the siting side of it, and then there's the permit itself citing it for it.
Right.
Explain that to the listeners, how they're trying to cover themselves by breaking it in two.
Well, that is true. For people who are curious about the bill that I am talking about, where it went from may to must, it was Senate Bill 2038 passed by the 2019 legislature, just to be clear, too. Siting permit is a completely different thing, and it is incumbent on the PSD to separate those two things because they have different functions. And so I do understand why they're doing that, and I will give all props to the Public Service Commission for their complete and utter transparency in this whole process. They don't even, and they said that also. Randy Chrisman, who is the chairman of the PSC, said that in his comments, in his remarks at the meeting last Wednesday. And he said, you know what, we don't hide from any of this. We have it wide open. You can see all of the docket items, all 441 of them, and some of them have 236 pages in just one docket. You can find all of the information. It's readily available. I'm not certain that working Americans have a great deal of time to go through all that. That's why we're doing our best to give you updates here from Beck News and from Super Talk 1270. But the bottom line is that they have been very transparent about it. So it's our own fault as citizens if we don't know what's going on.
Well, I was just talking to a friend of mine this weekend at the Sportsman Show that was like, hey, I've talked to people that have no idea what's going on, and there are landowners adjacent to this. You know, whose fault is it when the message hasn't gotten out there or people haven't paid attention? Because as a former elected official as the mayor of Bismarck, which I'm still hearing crickets from Bismarck and protecting their growth plate and the safety of their citizens, but trying to get the message out, I mean, there's a little implicitness with the public where unless it's really affecting them, they don't pay attention. You need to pay attention to everything.
Yeah, it's very true. And, you know, what we as citizens and residents of the state really do need to get involved on a real active basis. It's easy to just think, okay, well, it's not going to affect me. Well, in this case, if you are a citizen of Bismarck or Mandan, this will affect your safety, and you should have concerns about emergency services, and you should have concerns about how this goes if there is any type of an accident. The red flag was thrown up in Satartia, Mississippi in February of 2022, or 2020, I should say. It was February 22nd of 2020 that they had an actual surprise break in a CO2 line, which sent, 50 people to the hospital. It sent the 300 people fleeing their homes. Evacuation of an entire little town, and some people who got dangerously close to dying because of this event, but were rescued by some really innovative and clever people who went in on vehicles that
and again,
allowed them to get to it.
The reason it matters is because CO2 goes to the low spot. Well, what's the low spot? It's the river. The river. For the most of it, it's, what if something were to happen? And I know we deal in possibilities, but from a public safety perspective, that's your job, emergency management. You're supposed to deal with what could happen and be prepared for that. Saturday afternoon, beautiful sunny day in July, and the river's packed. What does that mean? How do you deal with that? What are the contingencies, the public safety side of this? We just haven't heard enough. We're talking with Lori Hintz from Beck News. When we come back, more, and I want to get into who's getting involved. Who's really getting involved with this? This is Talk of the Town on Super Talk 1270.
Your destination.
Plato's Closet in West Ashley and North Charleston are springing up cash. Just sell us your gently used warm weather styles like tees, shorts, sandals, and more. We're paying cash on the spot for gently used spring styles for guys and girls. Support sustainable fashion. This spring, do your thing and recycle the spring-inspired clothes, shoes, and accessories that are just hanging in your closet for cash on the spot. Let your spring clothes bloom into cash at Plato's Closet. Plato's Closet, located in West Ashley on Sam Rittenberg Boulevard and North Charleston on Rivers Avenue.
And ideas. RM World Travel. Sunday morning, starting at 5 on Super Talk 1270 and the free Super Talk 1270 mobile app. Welcome back to Talk of the Town on Super Talk 1270.
Super Talk 1270. I'm Steve Bakken along with Lori Hintz from Beck News. You can go to beck.news, BEK.NEWS, for all the latest with Summit Carbon Solutions' proposed CO2 pipeline. And we're talking about what just took place last week with the Public Service Commission, and, they're ruling against local control. They ruled against local control when it comes to some of these zoning ordinances. And, the legislators complicit. They fought private property rights this last session. They changed a little bit in the wording back in 2019, and words matter. So now people are susceptible to something they may deem dangerous in their own backyard. We'll see about that. Lori, we're talking about who's involved because people need to pay attention. And I've talked to people that, hey, they're not paying attention. They didn't know about it. And it's like, well, I don't know how you don't know about it, but they don't know about it. And the people that really involved with this, more and more and more, the people that get billable hours, the list of attorneys that are hopping on board with this as an intervener for or against, that list is growing, and that frightens me a little bit.
Yeah, I concur. And I mentioned it earlier. Almost every number relating to this is growing. The amount of ethanol plants involved, the amount of lawyers that are involved, and particularly the lawyers we know about right now are 12. 12 separate attorneys are listed. And here's how I know that, because the latest docket of the Public Service Commission, docket number 441 of these different updates on this case, PU 22-391, which is on the site, the Public Service Commission, psc.nd.gov. What you can do is you can actually look at the lawyers involved, and has all of their addresses, and they were all contacted with individual envelopes with certified postage, return receipt requested, fully prepaid, secured, sealed, and containing a photocopy of the order that was just put out by the PSC. And they went to Lawrence Bender in Bismarck, Brant Leonard in Des Moines, Iowa, Randy Bakke in Bismarck, Steve Leibel in Bismarck, Brian Jordy, who's from Omaha, Kevin Pranis, who is in St. Paul, Minnesota, Brett Dublinsky, who's in Des Moines, James Curry, who's in Washington, D.C., got one of these envelopes. Also, Derek Broughton, who is in Bismarck, Julie Lawyer, who is a Burleigh County State's attorney from Bismarck, Patrick Zomer from Moss and Barnett, which is in Minneapolis, and Jeanette Combs of Bismarck. So all those 12 different attorneys involved in this process of this case with the Summit Carbon Solutions Carbon Transport LLC Midwest Carbon Express CO2 pipeline project.
And those are all listed as...
This is unprecedented.
Those are all listed as interveners for or against. And in a lot of the cases, there's teams of lawyers behind that lawyer that is listed as the lawyer of record as the intervener. So when too many lawyers get involved, it gets a little scary because they're chasing money. Well, the whole thing is about chasing money in my recollection. So you mentioned some of the expansion. So, okay, now the lawyers are like sharks, blood in the water. They're looking for the dollars, and now you're getting a lot of the ones that are standing up for the private property rights and the landowners, and they're getting jumped on. You mentioned the growth of the project. Now, this is very interesting because when I'm looking at the number of ethanol plants that are now on board, because we've talked in the past about some of the other projects that have shuttered, and we brought up, okay, if they shuttered, is Summit going to go after them as customers? Well, that seems to be happening.
Correct. So Poet Ethanol Products have put out on Wednesday of last week a report about this, explaining it. And Poet, the world's largest bioethanol producer, announced a groundbreaking partnership with Summit Carbon Solutions, the largest carbon capture and storage project in the world. The collaboration, it says, will see Poet's 12 facilities in Iowa and 5 facilities in South Dakota incorporated into Summit's project, facilitating the capture, transportation, and permanent storage of 4.7 million metric tons of CO2 annually from the 17 Poet bioprocessing plants. So you add that to the original 34, which was 30 at one time, then rose to 34. Now add another 17. That total now reaches 51 ethanol plants in various states. Of those 51, a single one, the Tharaldson plant in North Dakota. 50 from the other 4 states and 1 from North Dakota, with the trunk line coming up around the city of Bismarck, going north and west of Bismarck to sequestration points proposed in Mercer and Oliver counties, just north and west of the Bismarck-Mandan area. So that trunk line then will be, you can imagine 8-inch feeder lines at various places from very many of these ethanol plants, and then growing to, at some point, larger, maybe 16-inch lines, and then as they get to North Dakota, they were proposed originally with the siting permit to be a 24-inch line going around Bismarck. But if you've got 50 and 51 now, rather than 34 plants, you can hardly imagine that will be large enough capacity to handle all of that output.
Well, think of it this way. Now, if you're taking on more customers, you have to service those customers, and the service you're providing is taking CO2 from them. At 51 customers, and by the way, I'm going to throw out, the little feeder line stuff because Minnesota doesn't even really matter that in what they have to say, because that's an 8-inch line. It's a little line picking up an ethanol plant or two, and we're talking about the main line as it comes from Iowa through South Dakota. In fact, even Nebraska, just little feeder lines dumping into the trunk line. And as you go down the line and add more ethanol plants, then you're adding more capacity. You're picking up more capacity. Well, there's only 2 ways you do that, or a combination of the 2 ways. Either a larger line, or larger diameter for more capacity, or more pressure to move more capacity through that line. Now, what's frightening to me is it's real simple to, once the project's through, go, yeah, that 24-inch line's not going to work. We're going to need a 48-inch line. We've doubled the number of plants we're going to service. The customers we're going to bring online. And we want more capacity for even more of that. So,
well, if you have listeners who are familiar with high pressure items or anything of high pressure, the original 24-inch line was to have 2,183 psig, so almost 2,200 pounds per square inch of pressure, which is a very large amount of pressure, which means that if you get any type of an exfilling of this or any type of a guillotine, some sort of a break in the line, you have just a massive amount of pressure coming out. It should be noted, too, that the pressure, they have very stringent rules about turning off the valves immediately, but the valves are not in North Dakota. The valves, the individual who is monitoring it 24/7 is in Iowa. So they're in Iowa. They have to get the information from their sensors. They have to turn it off. And what happened in Satartia, unfortunately, was that pressure was expelling for an hour before it was finally turned off. In that case, that was a Denbury one. So it wasn't this company, because this company, Summit Carbon Solutions, which is going to be based in Iowa, this company, you may or may not know, has never built a pipeline before. So this is a completely different thing. So they assure us state-of-the-art information. They will be able to turn it off. But with that amount of pressure and any few minutes worth of time, massive volume would be released in the case of a frost heave.
We're up against a break, Lori, but Satartia, Mississippi, 8-inch line, lower pressure, and think of the valves being 20 miles apart. How much CO2 is in that 20-mile stretch if it's a larger than 20, even at a 24-inch with almost 2,200 PSI, that's a lot. When we come back, more with Lori Hintz. This is Talk of the Town on Super Talk 1270.
Super Talk.
Plato's Closet in West Ashley and North Charleston are springing up cash. Just sell us your gently used warm weather styles like tees, shorts, sandals, and more. We're paying cash on the spot for gently used spring styles for guys and girls. Support sustainable fashion. This spring, do your thing and recycle the spring-inspired clothes, shoes, and accessories that are just hanging in your closet for cash on the spot. Let your spring clothes bloom into cash at Plato's Closet. Plato's Closet, located in West Ashley on Sam Rittenberg Boulevard and North Charleston on Rivers Avenue.
Talk of the Town on Super Talk 1270.
Super Talk 1270. I'm Steve Biden along with Lori Hintz from Beck News. You can go to beck.news, BEK.NEWS. All things Summit Carbon Solutions proposed CO2 pipeline. There's a tab. You can just go on there and they'll get all the information for you. We're talking about last Wednesday's PSC ruling, basically superseding local control, taking local control out of the hands of local municipalities and local political subdivisions, and an affront to property rights here in North Dakota. And, I still get a little worked up about that part, but other people in other places are really doing some good work trying to stop this, because right now I'm looking at what's taking place in South Dakota. I know it's an uphill fight because of the politics involved with Summit and their entrenchment in state government in Iowa. But people are standing up. Iowa just had an event that took place.
This is really clever. It was very, very interesting. This was in Des Moines, and landowners and environmentalists staged what they called a die-in, D-I-E. They did a die-in last Thursday at the Iowa Capitol. It was part of a rally that was trying to get lawmakers to pass legislation to look at concerns about safety and the issue of eminent domain for proposed carbon capture site pipelines. And so what they did is they basically staged a rally where they had people and all of the folks who were against these pipelines were wearing red shirts so they could be identified, and they were sitting in chairs and they slumped over, and then people laid on the floor and put white sheets over the top of themselves as if they were corpses. So they basically did a pretend cadaver event in the Capitol, where they showed what would happen if they were all asphyxiated in the case of an event where there was leakage from the CO2 pipeline. That's very clever. I just
Lori,
never would have thought of such a thing.
That's not far off, but think about at the Bismarck Airport when they do a mass casualty practice event, and they ask for volunteers in the community, and people get mocked up with different injuries, and basically it's one big triage, and that's emergency management practice. That's what they do. They just had one of those, but it wasn't a practice session. It was people standing up going, this could happen. So when there's the emergency management going to have a CO2 pipeline rupture mass casualty practice event, because they have them for a plane crash or different, a shooting event or all different kinds of calamities, a tornado. They practice those things. When's it going to get on the docket to start practicing a CO2 break?
Well, I am certain that the company would want to finance something like that, just so that they could prove that it would be practiced and ready to be in and be able to have EMS prepared for such things. I can imagine that they would also, the company you would think, would also want to finance some emergency vehicles that don't have combustion engines, because when it comes to an asphyxiation event or a release of a plume of CO2 into the atmosphere that then goes to low areas, it kills the engine of any type of a vehicle that has a combustion engine. So in order to rescue people, you would definitely need EMS or vehicles and fire trucks and things like that. You would need breathing apparatus, massive amounts of breathing apparatus, and not just for the Bismarck-Mandan area. This pipeline goes past Linton. It goes in through Emmons County, various other cities along the route. I am told it is not very far from Sioux Falls as well. So, as the case may be, you would think that there would be some definite goals of having any type of emergency planning open to the public so that fears would be allayed.
Well, and there's two sides of that. It's the urban areas where you need more resources, but there's a better response time. And then you've got the rural areas where how do you staff up or train or get the equipment for rural North or South Dakota? There's a big cost to that, because for the most of the time it's going to sit there. But when you need it, you got to have it. So
I should also mention, too, quick before we go, that in South Dakota, their legislative session is underway in South Dakota, and the Freedom Caucus in South Dakota is working on property rights to help make sure that they're pushing back against out-of-state forces putting their rent-seeking, tax credit harvesting green agenda on South Dakota landowners, too, as the Dakota Scout has reported. And I think that wording is very, very prescient and timely. Dustin Goverlow is working with the South Dakota Freedom Caucus and reporting down there what's going on in South Dakota right now, too. So it's good to follow him as well if you're curious. One
of the questions I've got, though, because who's been quiet about this, because we know where the governor of North Dakota stands on this. All in, his baby, bring the trash to North Dakota so everybody can get rich off of it. But in South Dakota, who the governor is a potential viable vice presidential candidate, Kristi Noem's been very quiet about this. And
so has Kim Reynolds. Kim Reynolds in Iowa, also very, very quiet.
Well, we know the politics involved in Iowa. We don't know the politics in South Dakota. Yeah, we know the politics in Iowa. We don't know the politics in South Dakota, but I'm guessing they're very strong as well. And you got to remember, these Q45 credits, they came in with President Trump. And now we're seeing some of the ramifications of them. And if you're a potential vice presidential candidate, you're going to go against a previous policy of what may be your future boss. It's all interesting. It's very interesting. Lori, thanks for the update. I wanted to get into some stuff with Kurt Junt, but I'll have to grab him at a later date because he came out after Wednesday's PSC ruling and cited a whole bunch of things. So I'm guessing no matter what happens, this is going to wind up in the courts at some point anyway. So hence the attorney sharks that are circling in the water. But Lori, if people want to follow what's going on, where do they go at Beck News?
Go to BEK. There's no C in Beck. It's BEK.NEWS. Go to Beck.news, and online you can see a number of icons there of different programs that we have and series. And one series that we have is called Capturing America's Heartland CO2 Pipeline. It's a black background with white letters that you can click on, and you can, listen to various reports that you and I have done that are recorded that are there. You can see our reports and our news stories on there. And if you roll all the way back to the beginning, you can see 1-hour programs explaining the whole thing in detail if you want to get caught up. So find it all at beck.news. And thank you again for having us on. We really appreciate it here.
Lori Hance from Beck News. This is Talk of the Town on Super Talk 1270.
Welcome to February 12th on the National Day calendar. Today, we're delving into a traditional British dessert and taking some time to declutter our digital spaces.
Despite its name, plum pudding, a staple in traditional British holiday feasts, doesn't actually contain plums. Instead, it's a steamed or boiled dessert packed with raisins or currants, which were known as plums in pre-Victorian times. This rich and fruity concoction is often made weeks in advance and set alight with brandy before serving. On National Plum Pudding Day, we appreciate this historic dessert that's become a festive symbol.
We won't go until we get some. We won't go until we stick. So bang some out here.
So let me get this straight. It's currants, not plums, but they didn't change the name to currant pudding. They just left the plum on there.
Pretty much. That's what it seems like. Have you ate plum pudding?
No. Have you?
I have.
And?
I'm not a big fan. But I'm not a big fan of raisins.
I'm still figuring out, I love raisins. And currants are kind of raisin, I guess, but were known as plums at one time. So this is really interesting to me. I'm going to have some plum pudding because it's got raisin. Shifting from the culinary tradition of plum pudding, we turn to a modern day necessity. Maintaining our computers. Computers are integral to our personal and professional lives, but they can easily become cluttered with unused files and programs. National Clean Out Your Computer Day, typically observed on the second Monday in February, is a reminder to take time to delete unnecessary files, update software, and generally keep our computers in top shape.
Computer uses it as its high-speed storage unit and information holding device. You have a brain.
So what are you doing to celebrate this day? Are you cleaning out your computer?
Well, it's a good day to do that. And you are ultra organized, so I can about imagine yours is always really clean. But I download so many things. It's a good time to clean all that stuff out, right?
So that's your excuse for being behind your computer for the past 3 hours?
Yeah. It's taken a long time to delete all those files, I'm saying.
I'm LaToya Johnson.
I'm Marlo Everson.
Thank you for joining us as we celebrate every day on Destination Celebration.
It's better than throwing the computer away, right?
That is true.
Talk of the Town, weekday mornings starting at 9 on Super Talk 1270 and the free Super Talk 1270 mobile app.
KLXX AM, Mandan, Bismarck, a Town Square media station, broadcasting from the View Community Credit Union Studio.
Talk of the Town.
Hey guys, time to get in on the action for the biggest moments in basketball with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projections, place your entry, and win up to 100 times your money. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit of up to $100. Just download the Prize Picks app and use the code GET100. That's code GET100 on Prize Picks for a first deposit match of up to $100. Prize Picks. Pick more. Pick less. It's that easy.
Bakken, weekday mornings starting at 9 on Super Talk 1270 and the free Super Talk 1270 mobile app.
Portions of the following program are pre-recorded.
Welcome back to Talk of the Town on Super Talk 1270.
Super Talk 1270, you're tuned to Talk of the Town. I'm Steve Bakken, and joining us in the program, Brad Ock, General Manager of Running 701 South Washington in Bismarck. And you've got some exclusives to the Bismarck store every now and then. We're going to talk about one of those because, Brad, I love pepper sticks. That's like one of my favorite things. The steak bites. I love steak bites. But when you're talking jerky, pepper sticks, that's my go-to when I'm out hunting, when I'm fishing, when I'm doing whatever, and I need a snack that I'm not necessarily don't have time to go grab lunch someplace if I'm doing something else, and pepper sticks are my go-to. And you've got Leo's pepper sticks, and you can only get them in Bismarck, right?
Yeah, so we carry in the Bismarck store Leo's pepper sticks, and we've carried Leo's for quite some time. It's a local guy. We carry all his seasonings, very popular during when people are doing their meat processing, especially during deer season. So not only do we sell his seasoning packets, but we sell his products. So we have there's some country-style sausage out there, some summer sausage we have at the store, and then now I got the pepper sticks, which are a go-to. I accidentally forgot my lunch at home.
Gee,
so
I
I
hate
will buy
it when
a
that
pack of
happens.
these.
I hate it when that happens.
They are really good. So if you have not had Leo's pepper sticks, I highly recommend coming in and picking up a pack.
I like these. And, of course, washing it down with a Jones soda. Today I've got the cream soda.
Yep. And
you're drinking a root beer.
This was kind of a blast from my past on the Jones soda, because I remember in the late 90s, early 2000s, this was like the go-to soda that I would have at
I think so.
when we would do our gatherings and get-togethers.
It was kind of like the one that was like, okay, we're going to have a little get-together, but I don't want to get a regular pop. I want to get something a little special because it's kind of a special get-together. Hey, we're going to step up and get this Jones soda stuff. I remember that back from the 90s. It was like, you're going all in here. You're not sparing any expense. This is kind of nice. I like this.
Yeah.
It's a little classier. It was classier.
It's made with cane sugar, and my favorite go-to was the cherry one. But we don't have them. We have strawberry, cream soda, root beer. There's a couple other flavors at the store. It's really fun because you don't know what's coming in. Blue raspberry was one that's popular, but I really wish we'd get the cherry one in.
You know, I wasn't a big strawberry soda guy back in the day when I was growing up, but every now and then I'll get that craving. I'll see one and go, yeah, I'm going to grab one of those. And it's as good as I remember it. Again, still, I'm the big cream soda guy. It's weird, man. It's my resurgence over the last year and a half. I got back into cream soda. Apparently, I'm reliving my youth. It's my midlife crisis is cream soda. Apparently,
right? And I'm certainly not helping that at all.
No, because here's the crazy part. I never realized there's so many different cream sodas out there. Because I grew up a Shasta guy. Oh, yep, Shasta cream soda, great, but the Spreckers, the Jones, there's so many different little ma and pop. Seems like everybody's got a cream soda. I'm like, you know what? And it's my mission to try them all.
And we will help you.
I appreciate that.
Gladly. We're here for you.
Well, the cool thing is
than just shopping in the store.
Yeah, so I just stop in and grab some beef jerky and a pop every now and then. But, one of the cool things, too, is you never know what's in the cooler up front because you walk in and it's right by the Candy Cove and you walk in and go, okay, what's in here? Because you don't know what's going to be in there half the time.
No, and that's what's cool. Liz is our housewares manager over there, and she obviously can't get every flavor of soda into that cooler, but I bet she probably has 6 or 7 flavors per shelf, 4 or 5 shelves, so you're looking 25 to 30 flavors that kind of rotate out in that cooler. And she has some popular ones that she keeps in there, but she rotates out. Like there's a limoncello one that came in.
Ooh.
I saw that one in the cooler this morning when I was grabbing these. And there's always something new. So if you want to try fun new flavors, she is rotating that cooler out with some of the new stuff that comes in.
Limoncello. Okay, I'm going to tell you a little secret, and it's like, plug your ears if you don't want to hear about this, but one of the cool things about Jones soda and some of these other flavored sodas from back in the day, they were really cool if you used them as a mix. And so I'm just saying limoncello in the summer with a certain little combination is awfully refreshing on the river. Just throwing that out there.
We have it if we're grilling outside. My wife and I will pour some in a cup and just sit on the deck and enjoy the warmth back there with a glass of that. 'Cause it is good stuff.
It's so refreshing. So, set me up great this morning. Thank you very much. Of course, the Leo's Pepper Sticks exclusive to the Bismarck location. You can't even get that in Mandan, can you?
No, they don't carry it because we have to have a food license to carry these.
And you guys do. Which brings me
we
to...
do, because we have the pizza and stuff.
Well, yeah, you got the pizzas, you got some of the food stuff, you've got some things for making food, because we're starting to get into... Because I've noticed this, a couple friends, that they've already got their little greenhouse in the garage set up. And you've got some of those items, some of the seed starters, the greenhouse kits, the little pots that you need to get that garden started a little bit early. And with the way things are going this winter, we might be able to get into the garden a little bit early this year.
Yep. My wife upstairs last weekend, she's like, bring home some potting mix, some starter mix, and our window beside the kitchen now has some flowers that are just starting, and that stuff is popping up, and people are buying it. Flower seeds are out, and vegetable seeds are out. It might be early to start peppers yet, but, some people probably will start some of those, the more hardy items.
Brad,
now.
Did you explain to your wife that you can't eat flowers?
Ironically, gosh darn it, I wish I knew which one it was. She makes a sugar cookie, and she puts flower petals on it. I'm going to have to text her and see if she responds and tell me which flower that is. So by the time we get back from break, I might know.
Okay. Sounds good, though. Well, there's actually a lot of flowers out there, especially in some Asian cooking, that you can do that. But never too early. And, of course, in runnings is our go-to, because my wife loves to can. So all the stuff we get into the garden, and we start stuff early, but I'm guessing she's probably going to have me starting stuff early this year. And as we get into the garden, then what do you do with it? Well, of course, Runnings has everything from cradle to grave when it comes to gardening and plants, and you get those gardens up and running, and then, hey, what do you do with all that produce when you're done with it at the end of the year? Well, you can it, and my wife puts up a lot of stuff. We get our tomatoes are crazy, our cucumbers are crazy, our potatoes are crazy. It's just all kinds of cool stuff.
Yeah, we are... You know what? Our tomatoes didn't go as fast as we thought we would this year. We usually do more chili and stuff, and we developed a picky child who refuses to eat chili all of a sudden. We're like, well, you know what? It's going to be a long night, because that's what we're making. So we would can tomatoes, because we did chili and spaghetti. Like it was going out of style. And this year we kind of pulled back this way, maybe because it wasn't so cold.
Yeah,
it didn't
probably.
feel like chili days, maybe.
You got to have cold weather for chili and soups. I'm a big soup guy, but my wife never did stewed tomatoes. She just did salsa and spaghetti sauce, and she'd can some tomatoes. But I'm like, I need stewed tomatoes, because I use stewed tomatoes in my chili and a lot of things, stews. I use stewed tomatoes a lot. So she makes me a bunch of stewed tomatoes. She puts up a bunch of stewed tomatoes for me now, and it works out perfect, Brad.
Oh, nice.
We're talking about Brad Ock. He's the general manager at Runnings in South Bismarck, 701 South Washington, enjoying some Leo pepper sticks this morning, exclusively to the Bismarck location. So if you're listening down by Hettinger, sorry, you got to come to Bismarck. If you're over in Mandan, sorry, you got to come to Bismarck. No matter where you are, Runnings are everywhere, so you can stop by our Runnings. But those Leo pepper sticks, Bismarck only. Also, the Jones cane sugar cream soda this morning to wash it all down. I'm loving life, Brad. Brad Ock, general manager over at Runnings. When we come back, we're going to get into some of the clothing stuff going on. Also, we're going to talk a little recap of the Sportsman Show, because Runnings was there this past weekend, and you guys have an ag show coming up as well. This is Talk of the Town on Super Talk 1270.
Super Talk.
Hey guys, time to get in on the action for the biggest moments in basketball with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projections, place your entry, and win up to 100 times your money. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit of up to $100. Just download the Prize Picks app and use the code GET100. That's code GET100 on Prize Picks for a first deposit match of up to $100. Prize Picks. Pick more. Pick less. It's that easy.
Talk of the Town on Super Talk 1270.
Super Talk 1270. I'm Steve Bach, along with Brad Ock up by Running 701 South Bismarck, or any of the running stores around the region, because there's a lot of them. And although if you want to check out the Leo's pepper sticks you're enjoying this morning, then you got to go to the Runnings in Bismarck, exclusively there. Also having a Jones cane sugar cream soda. Yeah, I love Mondays. All right, let's get into the flyer because there's so much stuff. I mean, you guys have got, of course, a ton of pet food, pet supplies. My go-to, we just had a litter of puppies back in August, and I can't tell you how many runs to runnings I made because it was right up the street from my house, and there's a lot of things that pop up when you have a litter that you're like, I need this, I need this, I need this, and I may have spent a lot of time in runnings, and then I kept finding cool stuff and get yelled at by my wife, but I'm like, wait, but the puppies will love it, and she couldn't argue with me, Brad. It's kind of fun. I liked it.
Right.
I didn't get in too much trouble, but the pet supplies, of course, you guys always have a great selection, always something on sale.
Yeah. So, and this is a big ad for us. This is our kind of like our Valentine's Day ad, so to speak. So we got pets covered, kids covered, mom and dad covered, friends covered, sweethearts, whatever you're thinking. I don't think people usually think runnings when they're thinking Valentine's Day, but between the candy store and some of the special treats we have out there, and there's a lot to choose from. So we like when people come in, they're like, I'm looking for something for so-and-so. We're like, well, let's go take a look. And this ad covered a lot of people. So there's some clothing in this ad. Noble Outfitters is specific to mid-states organizations, and Runnings is part of mid-states. So they're just a work boot. It's a great boot. It's 15% off. You know it's going to be a wet, muddy spring. So, if it's time to upgrade, it's time to upgrade. We got Keens in the ad, Bernie's in the ad, Carhartt's in there. I mean, there's so much going on clothing-wise right now in the store for you to come in and take a look at.
You mentioned the Keens, and you never find Keens on sale. They've become so popular, They're never on sale, and having a lot of different styles to choose from, because I've kind of turned into a Keen guy, and I love my Keens, and you guys are my go-to now for Keens.
Mm-hmm. And, the hit and miss, so the soles, I think the inserts that come with Keens are fine, but I have an insert that I always want to wear anyways, and so when they go on sale, I buy 4 or 5 pairs of them. Some of my Keen shoes, when you're looking at work boots that you're hiking shoes that you're wearing every day and working out, unfortunately, you're looking like a 3 to 6 month lifespan, depending on how hard you are to some of these shoes. The Keens I have on now, I bet I've had at the store for 2 years, and I just keep changing out the insoles, and they're holding up really good. The only downfall there is you really see how crappy your step is when you start looking at the wear pattern on the bottom of your shoes. You're like, ooh, I need to fix that. But, Keens is great. I love my Keens, and that is primarily what I wear at work here.
One of the things, too, is because it's kind of weird this year, the heavy winter clothes, the heavy winter jackets, really haven't had to get into a lot of those. A lot of people working out in the cold, you get that thermal line sweatshirt, it's all you need. And you've got those on sale as well.
Yeah, we've also seen, we don't have any vests in the ad, but Ariat, Carhartt, Byrne, they all have like a vest of some sort. And we've really seen a huge increase in vest sales. This is the year that, like you're saying, you wear that hoodie and you just want that extra little bit, and the go-to is like a work vest. And there's a lot of different options in the store. If you're looking for something moving into the next couple months, you're like, you know what, I'm just going to go get a vest.
I'm a vest guy. I love vests. I wear vests all the time, and my wife keeps yelling at me. She's like, don't you have something else? I like my vest.
No, I wasn't the vest guy until last year. Now I'm like, these things are awesome. Why have I not worn one of these sooner?
Well, a lot of times I'll walk out of the house with just a heavy flannel shirt, and I'll throw a vest on. I don't need the jacket. It's not, especially this winter, it hasn't been that cold, so a vest suffice. And, hey, I look good in vests. I'm just saying. And you know why? Well, I tell my wife this. It's like, hey, vests are slimming. It's like,
there we go. Yeah.
So I'm going to wear a vest.
So one thing that's ad I want to point out for Valentine's Day, and hopefully my wife is listening because I eat a lot of this, that Chaos popcorn, it's like Sweet Chaos or something.
Oh, yeah.
When the signs came out on Friday, my houseware supervisor was like, before she put it up, she walked in the office. She's like, Bradley, what's on sale? Because they have a dill pickle popcorn.
Oh, I've had that.
Ooh, it is so good. It's so good. And then there's some other, like kettle corn and cheddar and movie theater butter and stuff like that. But my go-to is the dill pickle popcorn. It is only $2.50 a bag right now, and that is always in my desk drawer for conference calls.
I used to, when I was growing up, my grandparents had a cabin up on Lake of the Woods in Ontario, so a lot of Canadian stuff. So I kind of got into the flavored and the salt and vinegar potato chips and things like that before they really got popular below the Canadian border. And, so I was like, dill pickle popcorn? I don't know. But I'm like, you know what? I was adventurous as a youth because of my exposure to the Canadian flavor thing. And I'm like, I'm going to try it. Love them. Dill pickle popcorn is so good. Got to be a little adventurous, Brad. Got to be a little adventurous.
It's so underrated.
It is. It is.
You got to come try it out.
Well, and, one of the things I always keep in, too, is if you don't have that bag of popcorn that you go buy, because I'm a popcorn nut, and I always keep some microwave popcorn in my desk drawer or at home, and you guys have got the good stuff, the Jolly Time on sale. So guess who's coming in to stock up?
Nice. Yeah, and then, so there's, that's the big box, right?
Yeah.
The Jolly one?
Yeah, the big box.
Then we have, so here's what I like about the Jolly Time popcorn. They have like that healthy one, and they have a movie theater butter one that is just the complete opposite of the healthy one.
I'm not eating popcorn to be healthy. I want the buttery.
It is.
I need the towel off when I'm done. Movie theater popcorn. Yeah. So anyway, going back to the flyer, because we could eat all day. Some of the things you need, you absolutely have to have. Of course, how often do you go through socks? I go through socks like crazy because I like fresh socks. Socks break down after a while, and I like thicker, heavier socks, and you guys have socks on sale. You guys have got underwear on sale. You guys have got all kinds of stuff. The Champion line of sweats. You've got your jeans on sale. Of course, great selection. If you're a Levi guy, if you're an Ariat guy, you've got all of those. Carhartt, all of it.
Yep. Wrangler. Well, we have a jean wall and a jean mini wall, and then floor jean racks, and then Carhartt jean racks, and FR jean racks, and more jean racks, and everywhere you look, there's jeans. Like, I've always been curious. I've been here for, almost 4 years, and like every August we should run like a denim dominance days, because I truly don't know who else in town has as many pair of jeans on hand.
Hey, wait a minute. Why don't you just do that on Ladies' Day? You can get a little runway or stage set up, and then you and Kev can model all the different jeans for all the ladies who can buy them for their husbands.
I like it. You could do that. I have a little runway jeans, because, if you look back there, we got that little mini jean wall. There's about a 2 foot wide.
Exactly.
I don't know if my safety manager would like that.
Hey, we're not putting a poll up for Kev now. We're not going to do that.
But it's for
it'll be fine.
It's for the cause.
Yeah, it's for the cause. Hey, speaking of Valentine's Day, and just going back to the pets for real quick, one of the things that my pets love, pig ears. They're never on sale. You guys have them on sale. Actually, you have them on sale a lot. So I don't know where you get your pig's ears for my dogs, but they say thank you.
Yeah, so that is, again, I think we've talked about pig ears in the past, and it is still an item that baffles me how many pig ears we go through. And it's awesome when you see them on sale for under $1. You know, because that's when we got the bags back there, and people just throw a bunch in the bag and head up front to check out.
People grab the case.
We got all sorts of dog treats back there, but that is a staple, the pig ear.
I've seen people grab the case.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about Braddock.
Like 100 in a case.
Yeah. We're talking about Braddock at Runnings, South Bismarck location, 701 South Washington, and some things exclusive to that one, like the Leo's pepper sticks we're enjoying this morning. We're going to talk tools when we come back, because you've got a big tool thing going on, and this flyer has got some tools and deals and sales, and you've got a rep coming. We're going to talk about that. This is Talk of the Town on Super Talk 1270.
Plato's Closet in West Ashley and North Charleston are springing up cash. Just sell us your gently used warm weather styles like tees, shorts, sandals, and more. We're paying cash on the spot for gently used spring styles for guys and girls. Support sustainable fashion. This spring, do your thing and recycle the spring-inspired clothes, shoes, and accessories that are just hanging in your closet for cash on the spot. Let your spring clothes bloom into cash at Plato's Closet. Plato's Closet, located in West Ashley on Sam Rittenberg Boulevard and North Charleston on Rivers Avenue.
The talk of the town on Super Talk 1270.
Super Talk 1270, you're tuned to Talk of the Town. I'm Steve Bakken along with Brad Ock, General Manager at Runnings at 701 South Washington in Bismarck. And swallow my Leo's pepper stick. Good stuff. Exclusively at the Bismarck Runnings, might I add. So we're talking tools now. Tools. And you've got some great stuff coming up because, well, like you mentioned, Valentine's Day is right around the corner. In fact, I think that's tomorrow. No, Wednesday, right? 2 days.
Yep,
Wednesday.
On Wednesday.
I better get that straightened out or I'm going to be in trouble. But
or you just tell her you don't need to wait for a certain, you love her so much you had to do it today.
Yeah. Hey, I like the way you think.
You just got to cover yourself.
Of course, in her mind, it'll be, well, if you're going to give me something today, then you should probably give me something tomorrow and then probably give me something on Valentine's Day, right? I'm like, okay, I won't be able to argue with that logic, so I might just wait. But tools, and of course, guys love tools. Women love tools now. And you've got a little special with Valentine's Day. Your DeWalt rep is showing up with some giveaways and some tool sales that aren't necessarily in the regular flyer. You're going to have some in-house tool specials going on for Valentine's Day.
Correct. So the DeWalt rep's going to be in store on Tuesday and Wednesday. We are doing some extra giveaways. So I don't know what he's bringing. He's traveling up here on Monday. I do remember something about some batteries or some accessories of some sort. But in the ad, in the Valentine's ad, it is 20% off all power tool accessories for DeWalt, and that's better than what the DeWalt sale was over Christmas for the accessories, because a lot of times they do gift with purchase, and those are just really awesome giveaways. But sometimes they're like, well, what if I just buy the accessory? You're like, well, that's free with that tool. But now everything, all the accessories, so blades, bits, just that whole aisle. It's like 28 feet of 20% off DeWalt accessories.
That's a lot of DeWalt.
It is. It's a lot of DeWalt, and we have, and DeWalt reaches out, like, so they have their name on heaters. They have their name on air hose stuff now, and we see DeWalt on a few different things. So there's sales going on beyond just the tool side. If you have air compressors and hoses, we have a battery charger, I believe, is in the ad this week. That's back in automotive. There's some heaters in the ad. There's a DeWalt generator in the ad.
Well, that was the cool stuff, too, because that's in the regular ad I saw is like, portability and having the flexibility, because one of the things in there, you get a little DeWalt spotlight, and I love my little portable spotlight. Slap the battery in, boom, done. Got light forever. But one of the things, the Nipco heaters, so that was the brand back, and it's kind of like everybody calls every antacid a Rolade now. But the Nipco heaters, the little ones, they've got a propane one, cordless, $149. You just carry it around wherever you need to go. And then the generator is like $649.99, and then that's the regular flyer. We'll see what that sale price is and what may come with that with the rep when he gets here, but that's going to be interesting. I mean, DeWalt does it right, and the flexibility in all the products, that's the cool part. It's like, oh, I got a tool for that, because my wife yells at me all the time. It's like, you've got way too many tools. Yeah, but when we need it, look how much money I just saved us. And I've kind of gotten the habit now. I'm like contracting, because you could have that base power piece, and then a lot of the tools just get to be an add-on at that point. You know how much space I save with that? You know how much, when the wife walks into the garage, she can't complain because I don't have as many tools. At least it doesn't look like I have as many tools, but I have many tools. Saves me in two ways there, Brad.
Yeah, and so like we just got out of this Christmas DeWalt sale, and we kind of thought we were going to be off the DeWalt kick for a while, and then our rep came in, did some stuff with the buyer, and here we are, another big ad for day, and we've got a bunch of DeWalt stuff in there. I think I'm most excited about the accessory piece when you're looking at like the blades and the grinding wheels, and who doesn't need a few extra? You might not need the whole kit, but probably need a couple more bits in a certain size. And this is a good time to come in and stock up on that stuff.
We're going to talk about this a little bit, too, because if you're going to go to the Ag Show next weekend, the reason the rep's here now and through Valentine's Day is staying for the Ag Show. We're going to talk about that coming up in the next segment. But, some of the other tools that are out there, and you mentioned all the DeWalt stuff, but not just DeWalt. I mean, there are so many different tools that Runnings has. The selection is absolutely amazing. And you got a lot of those things, whether you're looking for sawhorses. And I switched over. I've got the collapsible sawhorse. I remember for years I had the wooden sawhorses because you need sawhorses. And they take up a lot of space. Well, the collapsible ones, and you've got single folding sawhorse under $30. It crazy. Again, gets me out of trouble with my wife because I can put it away somewhere and it doesn't take up as much space. Hose reels, all that stuff saves space in the garage, so it keeps me out of trouble.
Yep, and speaking of the garage, we have it in the ad this time, and I have switched mine out last year. There's a 4-panel LED light for your garage. Just screws into a normal light socket, and the 4 panels are adjustable. So the light I have on the north end of the garage, I do have some storage on the wall a little higher up, and I just push that top panel and bend it upward so it lights all the way up to the ceiling across the side of the garage. These things are so bright. If you have not, if lighting's an issue in your garage, this is a $20 light bulb that will brighten the heck out of your space.
I've got a little utility closet down in our basement, and I put one of those in there. And I got to throw sunglasses on when I go down in there now because before I couldn't see anything. So if you flip a breaker, if I'm doing something with power tools out in the garage, occasionally I'd flip a garage breaker and going down there and flipping the light on. You're like, okay, we're looking in the panel. It's like now, and there's only one light fixture in my garage or in my utility room. And if I'm working over here or if I need to get something over here, because I keep all my wife's canning stuff down there as well, and I'll just flip the panel up and it illuminates that area or illuminates the breaker box or wherever I need. You're right. Those bulbs are amazing.
Yeah, and I think I was behind the 8 ball on that whole 4-panel garage light thing, because when I started to talk, some people started like, dude, I've had that forever.
Yeah.
It took you this long to get one. I'm like, they're amazing. I don't know why I never even thought about it until I was here.
Where have you been? What the heck?
On sale.
Okay, so those are on sale. A lot of other tools, whether you're looking for extension cords, air hoses, all of it. And don't forget to check out tomorrow and Wednesday, and your DeWalt rep is going to be here. So a great opportunity, too, with the DeWalt rep in the store and available for the customers. If you got any questions, maybe you want to pick his brain on, hey, I need this. When's this coming out? Or, give him an idea for a tool. You never know. But great opportunity to talk with the rep because you can learn a lot.
Absolutely. And they are willing to troubleshoot far beyond what we can do. They know their product line, and they know what they have, and they also know that Runnings can get anything in their product line for you.
Runnings, you can shop 58 stores. I can't believe you guys are up to 58 stores now. That's absolutely incredible. From Connecticut all the way into Montana, North and South Dakota, Iowa, New Hampshire, New York, everywhere. There's Runnings. It's like I got a Runnings anywhere I travel to. It's kind of cool.
And then in March that moves to 80.
Wow.
All the stores in the Great Lakes areas are getting their signs up this month.
Nice. We'll talk about that down the road as well, because that's kind of a cool thing. This is Talk of the Town. We're talking to Brad Auk from Runnings. And when we come back, we're going to talk about the Sportsman Show you guys were just at, and then what's coming up next weekend and all the deals with Runnings there. This is Talk of the Town on Super Talk 1270.
Hey guys, time to get in on the action for the biggest moments in basketball with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projections, place your entry, and win up to 100 times your money. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit of up to $100. Just download the Prize Picks app and use the code GET100. That's code GET100 on Prize Picks for a first deposit match of up to $100. Prize Picks. Pick more. Pick less. It's that easy.
1270.
Welcome back to Talk of the Town on Super Talk 1270.
Super Talk 1270. I'm Steve Boggan along with Brad Auk from Runnings. You can stop by Runnings, 701 South Washington in Bismarck, or any of the many locations except for the Dickinson store, because we don't like them, right? I'm kidding. Brad, Brad's boss is there. And there's a little competition that goes on, so don't shop there. Shop at the other Runnings. It doesn't matter which one. Just shop at Runnings. Okay, so you guys were just at the Sportsman Show, and you guys had a big booth there, and it was kind of cool. You guys had a lot of different stuff that I didn't realize you were going to spin into a Sportsman Show.
Yeah, so, last year, we've done fishing, we've done gun safes, we've done Coleman mini bikes and four-wheelers, we've done LEM food processing, and last year, as we were doing fishing, because there's the giant 2 blocks away that does fishing as well every year, and someone's like, there's all these campers and boats around. Like, why don't you guys do something for that? And then, Camco came up in conversation. We're like, wow, Camco? We have about 20 feet of wall section dedicated to Camco in our sporting goods, and a lot of people don't realize we carry Camco. So we started working with the buyer, and he put us in touch with the rep. And next thing we knew, we're expanding into this Camco superstore, adding new product, new SKUs, new lines. They sent us 8 pallets of freight for the sports show.
Wow.
We're like, oh my gosh, how are we going to get all this here? Well, because first off, a lot of people's campers, they're winterized, they're put away. We're not going to probably sell a whole lot of Camco product. But the biggest piece here was, I don't think people thought of us for Camco or for their campers, for a lot of things they use in the summertime. We have it all here too. So we are adding another 8 feet of high wall and a run in the department to Camco products. So we will have depth in product, inventory on hand, and we'll have, if Camco makes it, we can get it. And we expanded our on-hands in Camco. So we're very excited to talk to people about that at the show. And it was nice because what we had thought was true. People were like, wow, I didn't realize you guys had all this. Yeah, we got it. Come check it. I've been in your store 100 times. Where is this at? It's backed by automotive on the big back wall. He's like, oh my gosh, I shop your fishing stuff. I've never looked beyond fishing to see that was all Camco down there.
Well, and I talked to a lot of people. I talked to a lot of people that realized you had some of the camping stuff when Dvorak Motorsports was building their new location, and they had a bunch of their campers at your parking lot. And so people go, why there's campers there? And then they'd go in and say, why are there camping? Well, we have camping stuff back there. And I talked to a lot of people that didn't realize that you actually had camping line things until they would see those campers in the lot and go, oh, well, if they got the campers, I wonder if they have this. And a lot of people realized that you did have this and a lot of other things when those campers were sitting there. So great fit with the Sportsman Show this past weekend. You guys are going to shift gears a little bit. Walt's got some special stuff going on for the Ag Show that's coming up.
That's Tuesday, Wednesday this week, and it's a good time. You get to see a lot of people in the ag community, and those are our people. So we like to talk to them and hang out with them and be with them. And it's a good time. A lot of our vendors, not only that, but Common Sense. We have a 2-day deal we're running with Common Sense, where if you need calf shelters, You're going to get $200 off the calf shelters right now. If you need bale feeders, they're $100 off. Continuous fence from Common Sense, it's $10 off. The hydraulic wire winders, $100 off. The Common Sense rep actually comes and sets up at the show, and he's right across the aisle from us. So he does special orders for us all the time. So if there's a special need, come talk to us. I'm going to walk you over to the guy we're going to email, so we'll just get it figured out right there with the Common Sense rep right away.
So you got that guy that's going to be there and working closely with you guys on livestock necessities, and the DeWalt guy. DeWalt guy's going to be really busy between Valentine's Day and the Ag Show. Wow. You might have to be really get him some Jones soda. You're going to have to keep him with some cane sugar. You're going to have to get him jacked up a little bit. A lot going on with runnings, of course. 58 stores now, soon to be up over 80. That is absolutely crazy. How many do we have in North Dakota? Just North and South Dakota. It's a lot.
Oh, boy.
I was looking at a map the other day, and I was like, wow. Because I know when I'm out, and I drive around the state a lot hunting and fishing, and if I need something, which usually I do, I just Google up on my Google map, runnings. Oh, hey, I'm 15 miles from a runnings. Okay, I'll stop in. Everything I need right there. It's kind of funny how that works. Awesome, Brad. It's going to be a busy week. A lot of specials going on with runnings, either for Valentine's Day, the Ag Show, you might even have something sale or two from carryover from the Sportsman Show. You never know. Stop into runnings and find out. This is Talk of the Town. Brad, always a pleasure, my friend, and thank you again for the Leo's Pepper Sticks and the Jones's Corn Sugar Cream Soda. We still got to work about that case price on things like that, but I always stop in the store because you got the pop machine up in the front and grab one of those, go to a little shopping, maybe some jerky for lunch. Stop into Runnings. Our Runnings, 701 South Washington in Bismarck, but many other stores. You can stop in Mandan, Carrington, Hettinger, Mobridge. They're all over the place. Brad, always a pleasure, my friend.
Hey, you bet. Thank you. Have a good one.
This is Talk of the Town on Super Talk 1270.
It's Talk of the Town with Steve Bakken on Super Talk 1270. Join Steve weekday mornings between 9 and 11 for interesting local talk and special guests, plus your phone calls. Talk of the Town with Steve Bakken on Super Talk 1270 and the free Super Talk 1270 mobile app.
Talk of the Town thanks our sponsors: Dakota Pharmacy, Benchmark Mortgage, Trademark Realty, Silver Ranch, Peak Automotive and Service, and Runnings.
Talk of the Town, weekday mornings starting at 9 on Super Talk 1270 and the free Super Talk 1270 mobile app.
KLXX AM, Mandan, Bismarck, a Town Square media station, broadcasting from the View Community Credit Union Studio.
Plato's Closet in West Ashley and North Charleston are springing up cash. Just sell us your gently used warm weather styles like tees, shorts, sandals, and more. We're paying cash on the spot for gently used spring styles for guys and girls. Support sustainable fashion. This spring, do your thing and recycle the spring-inspired clothes, shoes, and accessories that are just hanging in your closet for cash on the spot. Let your spring clothes bloom into cash at Plato's Closet. Plato's Closet, located in West Ashley on Sam Rittenberg Boulevard and North Charleston on Rivers Avenue.